Asset leverage is the precursor to profit growth. Look how the profits behave at a high growth company. They start off slow, and then the acceleration of profits actually increases over time. Compare that to a typical company where profits start off high and then begin to flatline, meaning the acceleration of profits is actually decreasing. As profits begin to flatline and acceleration goes downward, this is where adding leverage can make a tremendous difference in the profitability of the enterprise. Every business is sitting upon several under-leveraged assets. We have identified 8 distinct areas to find where these assets are hidden inside your company. We'll show you where to find them and how to use them to increase your profit acceleration. The most common areas to find leverageable assets include your employees' time and talent, financial resources, your marketing, your brand, customers, business models, best practices or IP, vendors, operations, and of course you. Here's what we find about leverage. When you start breaking it down into the areas that we have discussed, you find a variety of assets that can add a significant amount of leverage. And only one of two things happen when you try to add more bulk weight leverage onto an asset. Either things get better because, yes, it could take leverage, you could add more force to it, or it breaks. It cannot take any more leverage. For example, let's say you have a great employee. You say they could be leveraged more. You add work, you add responsibility, and they Peter principle out. That's an example of breaking it. Or they may perform like a star, and you may realize just how much you've been under leveraging their time, energy, and talent. Here's an exercise we do at the live version of this workshop. Step 1, identify what the potential leverage points are. For instance, you could have a underused line of credit that you could apply financial leverage to. You could have employees, like we talked about in the previous slide, that can take more responsibility and do higher value tasks. You could have a brand that you could leverage, or your Rolodex, or potential referrals from clients. Leaning on clients, for instance, for additional referrals is a great leverage point. Then you ask yourself, what is the upside that I will get from leveraging these points? In the case of referrals, we'll use that for our example. If we can successfully get a half of a referral from each of our top 10 or 20 clients, that could be a significant amount of upside sales. Also, what's the downside? Will our clients revolt if we ask for referrals? So we weigh the upside versus weigh the downside. Typically the upside outweighs the downside. And then think about what will be the first steps that you need to take in order to do that. What customers will we ask? What customers will we not ask? How will we script it? So potentially writing a script, identifying the customers that we will ask, and then coming up with a game plan to ask for those referrals would be an example of how to create leverage around your client list. Here's some of the things you can expect, both good and bad, if you apply leverage to your assets. Let's start with the good. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how much more responsibility and value your employees can add to the company if you attempt to leverage them. I think you'll see that your personal saw will get sharpened, and any people that you will get better because it will force you to sharpen your saw. It can add energy and fun to a company, and of course it can add profit. The bad side, it will break things. It will break systems that you try to leverage. Hopefully it will point out where the flaws is and you can go back and make those stronger. You will have employees that disappoint you. You will create and perhaps not fix time constraints because this will be more work. And you may find, in fact you probably will find, less value in certain assets than you thought. A lot of times we're subconsciously not trying to leverage an asset because the back of our mind says, hey, you know what, I might break that thing. What I'm saying is let go of that. Try to break it, because then you know it can't take more leverage, and that will allow you to move on to a system that can take the leverage or fix what's wrong with this particular asset taking the leverage. Learn more at universityofceo.com/leverage.